By May 21st, 2023, St. Lucia had already witnessed a staggering 34 homicides, with 29 victims falling to gun violence, 2 of whom were killed by the police. Of these, 24 were suspected to be gang-related, and among the dead were 6 women. The violence didn't stop there. 4 others were brutally killed by blunt force trauma. 1 was asphyxiated, and the town of Vieux Fort alone accounted for 14 of these tragic deaths. Gandolph Adonis shared a striking resemblance to the slain rapper Tupac Shakur. Nearly everyone who knew the 43-year-old referred to him as Tupac. On Saturday, May 27, 2023, at about 2 p.m., a distressing incident unfolded in the Maynard Hill area of Marshall when Tupac was fatally shot by a known assailant identified as Naeem William. An altercation between Tupac and William's mother escalated, leading William to approach Tupac and discharge multiple rounds of ammunition at close range.
Everybody knew he's a man, he love to curse, he love to get talk. To me, the nigga did not know right of coming and shoot him. Now here why I'm more vexed and I feel offended. The woman, and that was in a confusion with him. Both of them always cursing, quarreling. They did not one day, the 2 of them, not only block cursing and quarrel. You understand? But you see, that go and play, she go and call the woman's son and did what she did. Father, forgive me for my sins. But listen to me. You see, she has to face and go for more. She's very, very, very bad at what she did. You hear me? God, Tupac never had to leave her so.
Family members of the victim portrayed him as a reserved individual, while a friend lamented the violent nature of his death, particularly considering the adversities Tupac had endured, including the loss of his partner and 2 children in a previous house fire, as well as the gun-related death of his father during a robbery. Tupac succumbed to gunshot wounds to his torso on Sunday, May 28th. After allegedly shooting Tupac, Naeem William went on the lam.
If you're going to defend your mother or any relative of yours, that's not the right way to go. Your mother was in her head office. She had fracas with her clients, drinking their rum. And I was told that she sent another girl, which I have their names. No, I wouldn't. To call Naeem. I don't know what state of mind he was in at the time, but I was told he came up to the guy and he shot the guy several times. I did call Naeem. Nayo, where are you? I'm in Unslurry. I said, what you doing in Unslurry? Boop, he cut off. I called back. I said, Nayo, I hear something happen. What is going on? I know nothing about that, huh? Boop, he cut off. And I haven't heard a word from him again. Naeem is wrong for that. That was not a decision for him to take. Well, all I can say to him, Nayo, he calls me Mom. Mom said to come in.
Naeem William has since been arrested and awaits trial for the murder of Gandolph Adonis, better known as Tupac. The perplexities of the shootings were taxing lawmen's ability to solve them, but it seemed like before they could catch their breaths, the familiar soundtrack would return. This time, it rang out in Grosley at approximately 6:15 a.m. on Sunday, May 28th, when Francis Leonce, a 58-year-old resident of Massey Street, was fatally shot through his bedroom window while lying on his bed. The assailants remain unknown. The invention of the drive-by shooting is attributed to Nestor Makhno, commander of the Revolutionary Insurgent Army of Ukraine at the beginning of the 20th century. He combined horse and carriage with a machine gun in order to quickly assault targets, then flee before they could properly react. Fast forward a century, the horse was replaced by the automobile, and drive-bys have moved from the big screen to little old St. Lucie. On the evening of Sunday, June 4, 2023, masked assailants employed Nestor Marco's formula to attack 22-year-old Chris Volney. The victim was disembarking this truck when a vehicle drove by and unknown persons discharged several rounds of ammunition in his direction. First responders arrived at the scene in Garra Babono at approximately 6:55 p.m., discovering Volney with fatal gunshot wounds and his female companion sustaining injuries. Despite their efforts, Volney succumbed to his injuries on the scene.
It's the third time, they come in and shot after him, and that third time they put him down for life, yeah, that's what I know. Yeah, he had get shot twice before.
Following a night of revelry with her friends, 33-year-old mother of three Bonita Chimera James returned home to La Pointe Dennery, unaware that it would be her last hurrah. Upon her arrival, she was stabbed multiple times by her partner, Leonas Pelage. Despite efforts from her friends to stem the bleeding from her neck while awaiting medical assistance, James succumbed to her injuries due to multiple stab wounds. Reports reveal that James had been trapped in an abusive relationship with Pelage, prompting her to file numerous complaints of domestic violence to the police. However, Pelage was reportedly arrested and released multiple times. Her father disclosed that James would make weekly reports of abuse to the authorities, yet struggled to extricate herself from the relationship as Pelage persistently pursued and abused her. James's grieving father issued a stern warning to those in toxic relationships.
The message I send to young girls out there and young men: whenever the relationship is going bad, run. Don't stay in it, because that's what will bring death is the end. Death is the end. As long as it's not good, run. Don't stay in it. Many reports against him. I don't see what they can stop him. I don't know. They will arrest him. They will talk to him, and as he come from there, the same thing he come and do. Go back at home. But he try and kill her how many times already? But this time he killed her.
While questions arise regarding the response of authorities, it's essential to acknowledge that victims often play a pivotal role in the actions taken after making reports. In many instances, victims may opt for police warnings instead of legal action, fearing repercussions or desiring to protect their abusers. Despite these complexities, intimate partner violence remains unequivocally unacceptable. Pelage, the suspect in James's murder, awaits trial at the Bodley Correctional Facility. On Sunday, June 11, 2023, Marvin Elidor, aged 39, a resident of Lakwa Babono, met his tragic death at the Rodney Bay Marina car park when he was targeted by a lone assailant armed with a pistol. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force promptly responded to the incident, conducting a thorough search on Elidor's person at the scene, leading to the discovery of an unlicensed firearm. Despite the efforts of first responders, Elidor succumbed to his injuries and was dead on arrival at the OKEU hospital. Elidor was well known to the boys in blue. At the time of his execution, he was on bail for firearm-related offenses. On Wednesday, June 14, 2023, at approximately 1:30 p.m., the body of 38-year-old Ernie Byron of Jackmel was discovered here in this abandoned factory shell at Marigot, with several gunshot wounds about the body. To date, no one has been arrested for this murder.
That man was my good friend. He helped me do all my house already for nothing. Since he was young, he helped me do all my house I do. So I was never paying him, so he always good for me. You check, and just so I heard they kill him and for nothing, the man was a good man. You check.
On Friday, June 30th, 2023, 29-year-old Mikey Sonson of Belmont Dennery was on the phone when an unknown shooter pounced. When the noise stopped, Mikey's body lay here under a banana tree, lifeless. The majority of his entry wounds were to his head and chest. To date, no one has been arrested for this execution-style murder. The following day, June 1st, 2023, would be the last day on earth for 24-year-old Richard Beausoleil, a resident of Monjuro Grosele. At about 4:35 a.m., Beausoleil came under heavy fire as he drove this white Toyota Belter through Leclerc. Crime scene investigators gathered over 20 spent shells along the roadside. A subsequent post-mortem examination concluded Beausoleil's death was due to gunshot wounds to the head.
The police yesterday was responsible for ensuring the safety of the carnival activity, the second day of carnival in Dennery. That went without incident. The music was turned off promptly at 6 p.m. as per the permission granted for that activity. The police exercised caution and ensured that they were on the ground to ensure that the crowd dispersed properly. About 8 p.m., the police received a call of a shooting along Victoria Street, Dennery. They responded to that call, and on arrival at the scene, they found the bodies of 3 individuals, 1 male and 2 females, along the road surface.
17-year-old Twinkle Rayano, also known as Twings Dolor from Dennery, along with 17-year-old Kamize Roxanne Anibafa from Dennery and 22-year-old Penley Sones of Larissus Viewfort, fell victim to a drive-by shooting on Victoria Street, Dennery at about 8 p.m. on July the 2nd, 2023, shortly after the conclusion of Dennery Carnival activities.
They need to stop the gun violence. They need to stop it. If you have problems with somebody, that's not the way you solve the problem. They need to start talking to people. They need to do something different. If you come out to have fun, why would you be out there with a gun looking for somebody you have issues with and to kill Cumis? Cumis was not part of it.
Penley Sones, one of the victims, was a photographer from Viewfort who had been covering the Dennery Carnival. Speculation on social media suggests that the assailants may have targeted one individual who abetted in a previous homicide, but tragically claimed the lives of 2 innocent bystanders in the process. All 3 victims died as a result of gunshot wounds to the chest. No one has been charged in this matter. It was a bloody weekend, with 5 lives snuffed by gun-related violence, and in an all-too-familiar chorus. To date, no one has been charged in relation to any of these homicides. He was an amateur stuntman and a master of the wheel. When he was not on one wheel, it was only the family, or OTF as they are called. A violent gang with roots in the Jacmel Boaden area. And when he was not terrorizing the streets on his bike or with his trigger-happy friends, he was making music about killing for only the family and hunting and shooting rival gangsters. He was 28 years old when the sum of his life's events blasted through his head. Terrell Laurent, also known as Messi, from Hill 20 Babonneau, lived a secretly violent life. His demise was long predicted, but the circumstances remain puzzling. On July 8, 2023, around 10:20 p.m., officers from the Babonneau police station responded to reports from personnel of the Babonneau fire station regarding the discovery of a body at the Babonneau playing field. Upon arrival, officers discovered Messi's body with apparent gunshot wounds. Reports indicate that authorities suspect a connection between this tragic event and a prior report of gunfire in Grosele, suggesting the possibility that the body was transported to Babonneau. To date, the police have made no arrest. Small community squabbles among young men between the ages of 17 to 22 can quickly escalate into deadly confrontations. These disputes, which may begin over seemingly minor issues such as personal slights, territorial disagreements, or romantic entanglements, are exacerbated by the pervasive presence of illegal firearms and the influence of gang culture. Additionally, the desire for respect and status within their peer groups can drive individuals to resort to violence to assert dominance or settle scores. The lack of effective conflict resolution skills, coupled with a culture that sometimes glorifies violence as a means of resolving disputes, further fuels the potential for these altercations to end in homicide. For 20-year-old Scott Chester Louisor of Mondedon, the sum of his neighborhood troubles would result in several stab wounds to his chest. His body was found here in Mondedon on Sunday, July the 9th, 2023, in a thick pool of blood. The police charged Kian Thomas of Mondedon and are still in search of Uriah Flemius for the stabbing death of Scott Chester Louisor. Ancillary, a village where nothing bad ever happens. Well, except for the occasional drive-by, or in this case, run-by shooting. The date, July 9th. The location, the front street near the Fisheries Complex. The victims, 42-year-old Anil Emmanuel of Peterborough Ancillary and 29-year-old Ronnie Edwin of Arundel Hill Marshall. Initial reports indicate that the two men were near the Ancillary Fisheries Complex when they became targets of gunfire from a passing vehicle. But many residents say this incident happened with two different gunmen on foot. Both individuals sustained fatal gunshot wounds and were pronounced dead at the scene. Unsurprisingly, this homicide remains unsolved. When we return, we explain the real reason why most gun crimes in St. Lucia remain unsolved and who is to be blamed.